I'm delighted to announce this afternoon that the United States will be taking a small portion of the hundreds of billions of dollars we receive in tariffs. So we're going to use that money to provide $12 billion in economic assistance to American farmers. $12 billion is a lot of money, Meryl. What do you think? Peanuts for you, though, right? Peanuts. She's a farmer of rice. This relief will provide much-needed certainty to farmers as they get this year's harvest to market and look ahead to next year's crop.
Mr. President, I have a few questions that I wanted to ask you on behalf of our farmers. I love our farmers. The first question is, you mentioned $12 billion. Is this $12 billion separate from the big, beautiful bill, the millions that you communicated would be available for our farmers in 2026 by the time they need it for harvest? Because it should be. The second question is this money free money? Or are they having to take out a loan, our farmers? And are they having to pay interest, our farmers? Because that's not right. It is your bad policy and policies that have created a situation where our farmers have had to file for bankruptcy and are having to worry about losing their farms and property and things. And it was your bad policy of canceling the money that had already been guaranteed and canceling grants. My third question to you is, you said that China would be buying billions upon billions of dollars in soybeans from our farmers. Now, is all of that money that you mentioned, all of it's for 2026? Or are you really talking about that they're going to start supposedly in 2026, China buying soybeans, and then it extends out maybe through a 5-year period or a 10-year period? Because that's important, Mr. President. Otherwise, our farmers might be misled, and that would be misrepresentation to our farmers, that money is going to be available. The next thing is, Mr. President, the money that you've talked about, when will it exactly start? When will it be available? Because our farmers don't need to know that soon. Soon for you might be 6 months. Soon for our farmers might be 30 days because they're in desperate need of money. I'm concerned because when I hear your press conferences, they typically lack details that are important. The starting date of when this money will be available, how long that this is for, the money that it will be available. If this is a multi-year program, that's important to know as well. If this is free money, that's important to know. If this will be available as grants, that's important to know. And then I noticed, Mr. President, that you said that you could probably get 50 billion. You upped it, you increased it by 10 billion, and then you said, I think he'll do it. Well, that's misrepresentation and just outright lying, Mr. President, because if you knew that you could get 50 billion for our farmers for China to buy soybean, that would have already come out in the negotiation. But because you didn't get 50, it means that you failed to get 50 and your team failed to get 50 billion. That's why this is misleading and misrepresentation and outright lying.